Ridiculous questions.
Meticulously debated.
This is Tell Me I'm Wrong.
Well, I was happy just last night. I've been losing sight. Citing all the falling fights. What is this if this ain't right? Back again, the monster rights. Losing life until that night. Life never let him lie. Light is my far past his way.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tell Me I'm Wrong, very special Thanksgiving Day episode. I am Ryan, and I will be moderating this week.
Welcome. I'm Joe, and I'll be debating.
And I'm Josh, and I will also be debating on this very festive, wonderful day.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
So we wanted to bring you a quick episode with a great topic in your ears. We will keep it family friendly for the kids. We want to make sure, hey, none of the curse words, none of the bad stories.
No E's, no explicit.
No. Well, it probably will still be tagged explicit, just, for the children's sake on future episodes. But in the meantime, we're going to keep it clean. We're going to keep it fun. And we're all going to have a good time here.
I also want to say real quick, guys, before we get started, this is going to be really cheesy, but I'm very thankful for you guys who listen to us. Like, we never thought that we would make it to 29 episodes. And it's just crazy that you guys give us an hour out of your day every week. And I just want to say thank you to all our listeners. Like, it's really cool that you listen to us. Like, it just means a lot to me, and I think the rest of the guys as well.
It got really sincere up in here.
For sure. I was not expecting that note, but, I echo that sentiment. It has been a huge pleasure making this show with these two gentlemen, and the fact that we have people who consistently listen to us every week is really humbling. So I'll echo what Joe said. Thank you very much.
Yeah, y'all are awesome. All right, I feel the same. Well, I guess screw me, I guess.
We're going to do our best to keep this PG so you guys can listen to this with your kids, because we think this will be a pretty fun topic. So I personally greatly enjoy watching the parade every year when I can. There's a lot of times where you're traveling during the parade or something like that, but it is one of my favorite things about Thanksgiving Day.
I'm just trying to figure out how they're going to do the parade over Zoom.
They're doing it. They announced today that Macy's will be putting on the parade. So
yeah, well, they have a much more high quality Zoom that's called NBC, so I think they'll be just fine.
I just want to know when they're going to send out that meeting ID.
Well, probably if it's anything like this podcast, probably about 2 minutes before we start.
You joke, but I guarantee there's going to be like in front of where the ends, like where the Macy's, I bet they will have people on Zoom or like screens up where throughout the thing.
Now, in my household growing up, the parade was a big deal. So we would always have like a mid-afternoon Thanksgiving at my grandparents'. But in the morning, my mom has started cooking a big breakfast, which really clogs you up in time for dinner. It's great. I love it. Personally, there are other types of you eat a casserole for breakfast, 18 casseroles at dinner. It's the way to spend that day. So we eat breakfast, and then we sit down, we watch the whole parade, we make fun of all the lip syncers, the dancers, we critique the marching bands.
And then you also have to make fun of the washed up singers who now find themselves on a float singing, in front of some random brand that has decided that they're okay with their terrible washed up talent.
Yeah, they're like, here comes the Clorox float. That is Aloe Black in a Clorox dish soap costume singing his hit song.
I know not all our listeners are from this area, but we have some very, very good marching bands in this area. Ryan, were you in the marching band in Lafayette?
I was not, but Leah's brother was, and she went to New York when Lafayette was there.
Rachel, my wife, was in the Lafayette marching band, but her sister, I think, was one who actually played in the Thanksgiving Macy's Day Parade.
Yes, for those local people, you'll know exactly what we're talking about.
Lexington translator here. The Lafayette marching band has won a lot of state championships and done a lot of national things. People who go there are very proud of it. They get stickers on their car. You will not miss them.
Go Generals.
No, my father-in-law has no one in the band and still goes to band competitions and helps them haul their equipment. He loves them. He's obsessed.
It becomes their life. But anyway, so So I think we're getting close to the time when we actually talk about the topic. So that would be, we decided that there are so many random balloons that you're like, what even is that? You know, who decided that it was a good idea to make that into a 3-story tall balloon? And so we feel like we have a lot of choices in a direction we could go to make the scariest possible balloon out of a fictional character. Or non-fictional character, whatever, just a scary balloon. So as you guys were thinking about this balloon topic, what directions did you go first? Where did your mind take you?
Well, I started thinking through a lot of villains from movies and shows I watched as a child. You start thinking about those, but then you realize they've actually done quite a bit of those. I mean, I'm pretty sure they had like a plankton balloon one year from SpongeBob. And plankton
I think all of the SpongeBob characters have been balloons.
So most of them are already taken. So I went pretty outside the box and really a commentary on where we are as a people these days. And
a commentary balloon. All right.
I tried to think about mine. What scared me when I was a kid? Like what character or villain? One thing that I loved was the Goosebumps TV show. If you ever watched that, one of my favorite episodes was Attack of the Mutant, and the mutant in that episode is terrifying. So I thought about him. But ultimately that's how I chose my person, is what person scared me when I was a kid. And because kids are watching this, they deserve to be scared.
They deserve to be scared. All right.
That is one way to put it. Yeah.
I think we're ready. I think we need to hear the first pitch. So I'm going to start with Joe. I know he did some excellent research as usual for his choice.
All you millennial parents out there will know the person as soon as I mention him. If you watched 90s, early 90s, mid 90s Nickelodeon.
Grandpa Lou balloon. Here we come.
My person that I chose was Zeke the plumber from Salute Your Shorts. Now, Salute Your Shorts was my favorite Nickelodeon show in that heyday. There was also like Hey Dude, Pete and Pete, all that. What Would You Do? Wild and Crazy Kids, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Double Dare, Doug, Keenan and Kel. I mean, Animorphs, Legends of the Hidden Temple. There was some just great shows. But the second episode, they came out swinging on this show, is called The Ghost Story, and it's about Zeke the plumber. And I'm going to give you just a quick backstory about who Zeke the plumber is, because he's terrifying. In the story, Budnick, he's the resident bully of Camp Anawana. He's a ginger with a mullet. Actually, he was in Terminator 2 Judgment Day. If you want to see him, he's the guy on the motorbike. He tells a story about Zeke the plumber. Zeke was the camp's former custodian that had no sense of smell because his nose was bitten off by a parrot, which makes him perfect for cleaning toilets and bathrooms and anything that may smell, because it doesn't matter. He can't smell. One day while he was working, he was digging a hole in the ground and accidentally hit a gas line. But since he couldn't smell, he didn't notice. So gas was just filling the air around him, eventually lighting a match and causing an explosion. Why he lit the match, we don't know, but it did cause an explosion, leaving behind only a piece of his upper lip and his beloved plunger. Zeke took this plunger with him everywhere. Before the explosion, Zeke's body was disfigured because of burns, and he wore a mask to kind of hide it. And it was the mask didn't really fit. It kind of just laid on his face, similar to like Michael Myers or something. It didn't fit. It just kind of fit over him. His eyes would become lost in the mask because it didn't fit him and it was sunken in. And the mask didn't even have a nose on it. But to cover up the area with nose, he had gauze that was taped over on the mask, and it was always bloody. Legend says anyone who touched his plunger would be cursed with nightmares caused by Zeke. If you touch this plunger, he would use the plunger and plunge into your head, which caused him to be able to enter your dreams and terrorize you. So Budnick had this plumber, and 2 campers accidentally touched the plumber during their campfire talk. That night, they both have traumatic nightmares where Zeke enters their deepest, darkest fears, similar to a Freddy Krueger. If any of y'all ever watched those movies when you were a kid, he'd prey on your fears, alluding to what made them scared, what people wouldn't want to know, even alluding to the possibility of death for them. One guy, he picked up his little bunny that he slept with every night at home and threatened to tell all the campers. when he would speak to you, he spoke in a really gravelly voice, like, "Hi, I'm Zeke the plumber." Very unsettling in a hushed tone. The camp counselor, Ugly, that's his name, UG space LEE, that night actually dresses up like Zeke the plumber to try to seek revenge on the counselors, but it gets foiled in some hijinks. So that's how I chose Zeke the plumber. He was terrifying when I was a kid, would go after you and haunt your dreams.
All right, I have to say, this was not one of the shows that I watched on Nick, so I had to Google Zeke the plumber, salute your shorts. This is horrifying, more horrifying than some of the horror villains that you all have made me research. I mean, this is just very frightening, and I think you have really chosen a balloon that is going to haunt people forever.
It says Zeke the plumber art. And the tagline on the poster you sent us is, "He knows your fears." And it's NOSE. He knows your fears. That's awesome.
Also, if you scroll down, you can see the tattoo.
Yeah, there's an alarming amount of fan art for Zeke the plumber. Now, first off, we said we were going to keep it family friendly. Well, I am spooked, so I apologize to all the children out there. This has big Joe telling the story about slaughtering a pig vibes from last week's episode. Secondly, Zeke the plumber is terrifying. So much so that when Joe first mentioned that he was going to do this one, I thought it was from Are You Afraid of the Dark? Another 90s Nickelodeon show.
Great
completely
show.
Forgot it was from the completely benign and supposedly humorous Salute Your Shorts.
That's the crazy thing. This wasn't like from a scary show. It was just from a show.
This is the only episode they did it. And it was episode 2 of all, like, they came out swinging. Y'all, not Saturday nights on Nickelodeon was lit.
Pete and Pete, was that on there?
Yeah, Pete and Pete, all that, and Keenan and Kel.
Oh, man.
That.
I gotta admit, Joe picked a pretty perfect one because it combines things that Macy's already likes to do, which is Nickelodeon or Disney Channel based balloons. It is an established character in the lore of one of those shows. And you know what? You can make a pretty distinctive balloon out of it, I think.
As soon as I Google imaged this, I was like, I can see exactly, like, he's going to be holding the plumber. He's going to be, like one of those Ronald McDonald style, like Superman pose. And I can really see this as a balloon. I've got to say, I think Joe has really already hit it out of the park. So I'll be interested to see what Josh has got lined up for us.
Okay. So I went a completely different route from Joe. So like I said, I wanted to make a commentary on kind of what's going on in our world. And so I started thinking, what would actually scare me if it were to happen to me at this Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade? And so what I think the organizers of this parade should do is they should make a balloon that is a exact replica of some random person they find on Facebook that lives in the United States.
So just a random person?
Yeah. How terrifying would it be if you tuned into the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade and they fly this balloon and it's you and they just talk about all these details about your life just like they do the other balloon. It's Savannah Guthrie's on there and she's just like, and now coming up is our next balloon featuring Dustin from Cincinnati. Dustin stands 300 feet tall. He is a 3-story balloon.
Did you say he was 300 feet tall?
I don't know how tall the balloons are.
Gosh, that's really tall.
And he recently broke up with his girlfriend because she says he has commitment issues. Like, just airing your dirty
Dustin
laundry.
loves to wear cut off jean shorts and a belt, and most of the time you can find him with a stubbly beard.
Dustin is a complete slob. His room is often dirty. You can tell by the mirror pics he has posted on his social media profiles.
Rolls his own American spirits and sits in his lawn chair in his living room.
As you can see, Dustin is featured here with an IPA because that is all he drinks because he is a snob. He drinks too many at a time. His friends say he is belligerent.
I've been going through his photos while y'all were going through his history. It does look like Dustin did go through an emo phase in 2004 with the swooped hair to the side and long bangs. And I think I saw a large leather cuff bracelet, which is definitely peak 2002 energy.
Oh, you might not be able to see it, but under that buffalo plaid shirt that the Dustin balloon is wearing, that is indeed a Fall Out Boy shirt. Fall Out Boy was popular at the time, and he thought he was cool because he was, quote unquote, a scene kid.
You'll also find his balloon is carrying his favorite local coffee shop cup, the Human Bean.
Dustin is spending his Thanksgiving morning loathing in bed, worried about having to go over to his parents' home where he will be a disappointment yet again.
He posted that he's sure his mom and dad are going to ask him if he has a girlfriend yet, and he doesn't understand why that's such a big deal. He's only 37 years old.
Dustin is alone. So you see what I'm trying to get at. So the point is that you can find out all sorts of stuff about people. And so they're just going to pull up Dustin's profile, make a balloon out of him, and then air his dirty laundry on national TV like it's nothing without even telling him. He doesn't even get a heads up.
I don't feel like we're that far away from just picturing an NBC intern on Facebook looking for the next balloon at Macy. I mean, that's exactly what's going to happen. Like, they're going to have a team of interns. It's like, okay, let's go find out everything we can about Dustin. Let's get this balloon as accurate as we possibly can.
So, Josh, I do have a question. How do they decide on Dustin? Is it like a lottery system? Is it?
Nope. They just went around Facebook and tried to find who the person
so they
could
chose someone. It wasn't random.
Yeah.
Okay.
They searched through friends list. They went down a big rabbit hole and they eventually found Dustin from Cincinnati, and they spoofed him. And so it'd be terrifying. But also, I think after doing it 1 year, like the first year,
it catches on.
Everybody would start tuning in because you don't know who's going to show up as the balloon. It could
and
be
there's
anybody.
no pitches. Like they just go on Facebook and they're like, who can we make the best narrative out of?
It's going to get real weird when an election year hits and there's some deeply political balloons floating down.
It's not. This is just a woman or a man.
That's what I'm saying. They're going to be wearing a hat.
In America.
We've got Gary from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. He has recently fallen into conspiracy theories and his family will not talk to him this Thanksgiving. He's enjoying a bologna sandwich alone. Gary, we wish you our best.
My favorite is when they don't even do a person. It's just a Facebook comment section blown up and going down the street.
That might be the most terrifying. We might have landed on it.
I think that's the escalation point. Like they finally just get to the point where they're just posting screenshots. All right, so you guys have really presented some frightening ideas, very different ways. Mm-hmm. One a little more existential, but the other just gets right down to the core of what makes you afraid. So I think we've reached the point where I need you guys to describe very specifically what the balloon is going to look like, and this is a portion I don't know if you guys have thought about. Now, the volunteers who help to pull the balloons are usually dressed on theme with their balloon. So you'll have like SpongeBob SquarePants themed people holding Patrick Star, the balloon. So I want you guys to tell me how many, first of all, how many is it going to take? Is this a team of 30? Is it a team of 50? Is there like, a specific theme? And then also I need the balloon in detail and the specific descriptors. We kind of went into Dustin a little bit, but what actually would be descriptors that Savannah or Al Roker are going to be reading? We will go with Joe first.
I'm going to be honest. I have no idea how many people is needed to go on carry a parade balloon.
You can just decide. We will suspend belief and we'll just decide.
He needs 50.
Sounds great.
So, my float is a taller man wearing a pair of bib overalls and a flannel shirt. He has yard gloves and a human mask of kind of like an older man that does not fit his face, so it gives him really odd, scary features. The float is missing a nose, but is covered in white gauze on the front. And one of the guys that's carrying, or ladies that's carrying the float, actually has a pump. And throughout the parade, they are pumping red liquid, which causes the gauze to become bloodier and bloodier as the parade goes on.
Oh, gosh.
His mustache almost covers his deformed mouth, and his shaggy hair, his disheveled shaggy hair, is covered by a fisherman hat that is pulled real low, which provides shadows and almost covers his eyes, causing them to become they disappear in the mask. He is walking. He has his beloved plunger with him, but he holds it like a weapon. So the bottom of the plunger is in his right hand, and it's resting across his chest, and he's holding it kind of like a police baton as he's floating down. So he's just staring at you with these dark, dead eyes, holding his beloved plunger and his bloody nose as he's going down this parade float. So he turns the corner and looks, and a small child is just drawn, and Zeke the plumber has direct eye contact with you, holding this giant plunger on his bloody nose, and you can already tell as a kid he is going to haunt your dreams.
Lord.
All right. So much for this being PG, but that's fine. We did decide to do scary balloons. All right, Josh, describe to me Dustin.
Okay, well, mine's going to be much less graphic. So I think, the Dustin balloon could probably use a large team of balloon holders, but I think they have to keep it small. So I think we're going like sub 30. We're like talking 25 people barely hold on this balloon. Reason being is we got to limit the number of people who can, get the word out that it's Dustin. Dustin can't know about this. So we're going to have a small team of people carrying this balloon. I think they're all going to be wearing oversized cargo shorts and like an old t-shirt. And just
like stained.
Yeah. And then they'll be like required to wear a Dustin mask as well, just to like really tie it all together.
I like it.
And I also think that they're going to be wearing Crocs the whole time, which probably won't be great for their feet. But Dustin likes to be comfortable around the house, and he doesn't leave there much.
Crocs and wool socks, maybe, because it is November.
No socks.
No socks.
So to the Dustin balloon, we already kind of described it. I think he's wearing a buffalo plaid button down. He's holding an IPA can. The other, he has a PS4 controller. He is just, he's just
with
hanging out.
Cheeto dust on it.
Yeah, with Cheeto dust on it. He's got shaggy hair, kind of a grimace on his face. It's kind of like, you can't tell if he's like mad or sad or angry. It's just generally displeased with whatever's going on in his life. He's wearing cargo shorts and then his Crocs. And I think that's the Dustin balloon. It looks just like Dustin. And the only thing that I don't think you can fully capture with the balloon is loneliness.
I feel like it all comes down to, so we have two very different approaches here. So we have Joe, who has created an objectively terrifying balloon that is going to be honestly frightening to anyone who looks at it. And then we have Dustin, who is more of a, oh my gosh, who is this kind of like the fear of the unknown. But then also Dustin sees himself and he's like, oh my gosh, how did they find out about this? A little bit more of the existential dread type situation. So I think you guys have honestly given me a really hard choice here, because they're just such different avenues that you've taken. I've got Zeke with the actively bloody nose and gauze is really quite appalling. But then we've got Dustin with the oddly specific details about his balloon. When it comes down to it, I think I have a clear choice, and the reason I've made this choice is because of the number of people that are going to be afraid of this balloon is going to be more than the other. And I'm going to have to go with Zeke the plumber.
Yes!
Josh, you did a great job.
Josh, I love yours.
Skeptical.
That's great.
Yeah, I was a little skeptical at the beginning, and honestly love the pitch. It a little bit makes it more seem like a Amazon Prime original show. It was a great spec script. Mm-hmm. Not as scary to the masses, because most people are just going to see it.
I I look, Joe went the slasher film route. I decided to go Black Mirror.
Slasher
Yes,
film.
you did.
I made the wrong choice.
Once again, Josh, you did not answer the question that was asked.
Look, I like to have a more creative debate. You
I was
know,
gonna say, Josh is your classic overthinker in D&D, where he's like, okay, but what can I use in the room that's going to help me?
This is true.
So he's always looking for the convoluted way out. All right. Well, that's going to do it for our very short Thanksgiving Day episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. October and November have been really great months for us. Share our show with your family today. Have them listen to this episode and just get a little sample of how crazy we get. And this a little shorter episode. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Isle of 8 for the use of our theme song, Jean Jacket. Check them out anywhere you find great music.
When you inevitably want to get away from your family this weekend, make sure you hop on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and follow at TMIW Pod. And if you have a better float you think a float would be scarier, let us know using the hashtag TMIW Pod. Send us what float you think would be scarier, or just the fact that people spend hours watching the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade that morning is scary to me in itself. I do want to say thank you again for listening to the show. It's very cool that you all give us roughly an hour every week of your time. It just means a lot to all of us. So just thank you so much. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. And go ahead and give us a rating and review, 5 stars. Let us know you're enjoying the show. And we just really appreciate you all.
And if you also have a free moment while you're on Facebook and Twitter, head over to tmiwpod.com. Over there, you can find all of the files that we dug up on Dustin from Cincinnati. You can also see the drawing for Joe Zeke the Plumber back piece that he's looking to get this holiday season as a tattoo. All that's over there. So just head over to the website, sign up for our mailing list, check out all that good stuff, buy some merch. Hey, Black Friday's coming up. Why don't you get a shirt that says Later Losers on it? Or what about a Power Hour mug? We've got all sorts of fun stuff.
We may even throw out some promos if we can. I don't know. That's something we'll discuss.
Yeah. Promote the episode. Get your family involved. Get them to listen. Have them shoot us a tweet. If they shoot us a tweet, I'm sure we can dig up something to send you. But just get them to join listen. Just get them to listen to the podcast. Get them hooked. Enjoy the holiday season. And know that we were the ones that made it so special.
That's going to do it for us. As always, there is one winner, but we're all losers. Later, losers.
See ya.
Camp Onawana, we hold you in our hearts, and when we think about you, it makes me wanna fart.